So Lee has Deuce McBride and Precious sign and trade for Precious Achua, right? And with 2 first-round pick swaps.
Swaps, correct. Swaps.
Going to the Bulls for Coby White.
I think Coby White is going to be the most sought after player this summer for all 29 teams. I think that they're going to look at his contract. I believe it's between 12 or 14 million per, but he has one more year, 1+1 going to the future. And I think Chicago is going very young. I think Coby White, they're going to try to get what they can for him. 2 future swaps to the Knicks is pretty good value, as well as an immediate replacement in Deuce McBride. Now, I know Deuce is a very beloved player in the NBA. He's someone that I cringe at when I see him included in trade scenarios. But as Fritz said, you have to give talent to get talent. So I'm replacing his position with a player who I believe is significantly better in Coby White. At 6'5", he is already one of the best movement shooters in the NBA, and I think he's top 3 in pull-up threes, walk-up threes, above the break threes in the entire NBA, which I think would mesh well with Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns. It would give us a tsunami, to use that phrase again, of 3-point shots and volume on this team at very high metrics. Now, Fritz can probably tell me where I'm off dollar to dollar. I'm willing to include more additional assets, nothing major rotation, but whatever it has to take. I've seen Leon do miracles with the Shake Milton contract and sign trade. I think there's something we could do here, maybe to campaign or something, non-guaranteed 2-year, whatever it takes. I'm even willing to throw that Washington pick in order to Coby White. I think this trade scenario, we would outbid. Other teams will give more to get Coby White because of his ability to play both the 1 and the 2, his 3-point shooting ability, and his ability to guard up for bigger 2s and 3s. Coby White also has plenty of experience running the team, which makes me really excited for the Brunson sitting minutes. Having someone who can actually orchestrate the offense and playmate, we are missing that. DeLon Wright showed he can do it. Payne showed he can do it. Deuce, as of yet, I think he can grow, has shown he can do it. Coby White's already there. Coby White is already doing it with a very bad team in Chicago Bulls and getting those guys involved. So I love the possibility. He's a 2-way player. He has a little bit of the play-in experience, but he doesn't fit. That's the one box he doesn't check for Leon. It's playoff experience. Leon's been very centric on playoff experience. He doesn't have that, but I think Coby White's talent and ceiling will make him worth the investment.
I actually kind of like this one, even though I like Deuce. Okay. I can talk myself into making.
Okay. I actually leave with this one. The concept, I like the concept. Like what the concept is the Bulls don't want to pay him as much as he wants. The Knicks say, hey, we'll get him in the building. We'll give you what you want. It may be too much, but we'll be over the second apron and we don't care. It's stolen money.
Correct.
That's the concept of the trade. Do I think the Bulls do it? The Bulls would have to have it in their minds that they're not paying him. Like off rip. Yeah. I don't think it's too far off. The only thing I think is Lonzo Ball's contract. I think they kind of made it for him to be traded. So I know Lonzo is going out the door. Do they want?
But I think you don't think that they want to ride Giddey?
No, Giddey is getting his big money too.
So like I'm saying, they get rid of Lonzo and Coby. No.
I don't know. They haven't really indicated if they're willing to pay, but he is the type of player like he's gonna get,
because I think
he's like near 30, 27 a year.
We'll go get Austin Reeves and pair Giddey in Austin and get rid of Ball and
they have to have it in their mind that Kobe's too expensive.
I mean, Ball.
Yep.
That's why I included it in my preamble that I think we will get outbid. There are other teams can offer more. For Coby White, I would be willing to up the ante. And this is where people might disagree with me. I would include Pacome Dadiot in this trade, or Kevin McCullough. I would do that. I would even include Tyler Kolek. Not all 3 of them, but I would do one of the 3. And people are like, oh, I know Kolek has a hive. I know Pacome has a hive. Coby White's already here. And whatever it takes to be the highest bidder, even if it's another swap or that Washington pick, I would keep adding to the bidding war to get Coby White. Because to me, Coby White's the last piece you need. As long as Mitch is here, Cat's here, OG, Bridges, and Brunson, Coby White would win. He'd either be our starting 2 or would win 6th man of the year with us off the bench.
Yeah, I think it's solid.
I like Coby White, but isn't he still growing defensively? Like he's up and down on that end, right?
He's got
but he's 6'5". He is 6'5".
I know 6'5", but I'm talking about his defense. I know that's something he's growing at and inconsistent on that end.
It's hard to tell specifically when the whole team is bad. I think they're starting to try to do that. Danny Bit's more defensive minded. I watched him in the Chicago Bull play-in tournament game, and I was impressed with his two-way ability. He actually was a point of attack defender in many of their sets, defensive sets. So I was like, there's some opportunity here for a ceiling. And I was thinking Tibbs when I made this trade idea. I made this at the beginning of the playoffs. How can we get this roster better? Tibbs ain't here, but I think any coach would appreciate and maximize that ceiling because of what he's done on an already bad team.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
said we have to trade Precious to do this?
So,
Precious and Miles.
Well, I don't know if
Precious.
Precious would even do us a favor. I think he feels a certain type of way
I
about
think
us.
the money would
right
be
now.
there. The other there's another downside to this is that free agency would be over. Like you're just throwing minimums after that. Like you're
yes,
not getting
But that's
anybody above the
That's
minimum.
what we need, mint.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you got
This
a
is
6
my
man off,
thought
you got
process. But let Lee finish his last take real quick, because then I want to tell my thought process on how we should enter free agency.
okay. All right, cool.
All right. Jay,
What's-
let's put Josh Hart trade. That'd be my last.
You got to Marcus Smart to get the ring, I guess.
Ooh.
I like this one even more. This one to me is probably the best possible thing that we could do this offseason, in my opinion. Using my Dallas insight once again for PJ Washington, a player who I criticized a lot when he was in Charlotte. This is a straight up swap. I believe the salaries are close to matching. PJ Washington is available. It's been reported by Mart Stein, Brad Townsend, all of the Dallas reporters. He is available for trade. So I thought about guys who are available. Coby White, I think, will be available if they don't want to pay him. PJ Washington now with Anthony Davis is no longer playing his best position, which is a 4. We have Anthony Davis, you have Daniel Gafford, you have what's his name, Derek Lively. There's a crunch, and they need to consolidate for a guard. So I said Josh Hart. Josh Hart can be either off the bench or he can start for them. They also have a lot of shooting. But PJ Washington, personality-wise, is exactly what this team is missing. He's a dog. He's a troll. He's a meme. He talks shit, and he backs it up. Two-way play. Excellent defender. I've seen him guard the point of attack in the playoffs. I've seen him guard centers in the playoffs. He's versatile. He's starting to get a three-point shot, and he was the reason they beat OKC last year in the playoffs, was him in the corner, drilling those threes. OKC could not adjust to him. He's able to guard up. He's able to run the offense. I've seen him be a playmaker, two-way player, valuable contract, under $15 million. Someone who I think would add a huge personality spike to our team for a guy who I think is undersized off the bench. And Josh Hart, and might have maximized his role with his team. PJ would come in and immediately start at either the 3 or the 4 or be the 6th man off the bench.
Yeah.
I like
I like that.
I like that.
I like
I
that.
like it. He plays multiple positions.
Because you not only getting rid of our Hart, you're getting rid of, when you do get rid of him, you do want to get something that's either just as good or better. And PJ
Right.
Washington is slightly better than Josh Hart. I'm not gonna lie, just slightly.
Yeah.
Not
It's-
very
it-
much, but it's slightly.
And like Big Chino just mentioned, he definitely did regress defensively this year.
Yeah,
Josh Hart, yes.
yeah,
Yes.
he did. Josh Hart regressing. If you were of the mindset that Tom Thibodeau wore out the people here, then you might be like, well, with a new voice, Josh Hart can get back to what he was
It's
defensively the year
overuse.
before.
Yeah, it's overuse.
This trade is one of those things where it makes sense basketball wise, but emotionally,
Understood.
for a guy who's been like the
Yeah.
heartbeat of the team and the guy who's kind of made us in the adult team for the few seasons he was here, and the guy who's kind of been Jalen Brunson's best friend since he's been here. It makes it hard to make that trade, but it make basketball wise makes sense.
No. Yeah.
This is the Oakley for Canby type trade, and
Yeah.
people hate it. but
I
we
think it
need
helped both teams tremendously as well. I think that would help the Mavs problem with their bench, and it would help us tremendously.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah,
it.
you gotta
Yeah.
console Jalen
Yeah.
Brunson losing his
And I
Brunson
also
not
think
back.
bold take.
Greg,
I also
Greg
think
Brunson not
that
back. His best friend is gone. The podcast probably dead now.
He's got to
Yeah,
grow up.
right now,
You gotta
Gotta
take
grow up.
sometimes you gotta take that safety blanket away.
yeah.
I agree.
I'm not
I agree.
saying not do it. I'm
Jalen
just
probably played his
saying
whole career with his dad there. He has to get rid of that.
I'm just painting the picture. I'm just painting the picture.
But I do want to say this too. I think this is a bold take a little bit, but Josh Hart reached his peak, and I think that this is as good as he's a guy who can average a triple double in the low numbers. 10, 8 with some couple assists. I don't think we're ever going to see a season where Josh Hart can average 20 points with 10. No, but I think that PJ Washington can have a better season than he's already had, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
fact.
that's why I like the trade a lot, where we can still get some more good PJ Washington seasons versus Josh Hart. I think we saw what he can do. We either repeat it or I think he digresses. I don't think he gets any better than what he has shown us already.
Yeah,
He probably had
yeah.
his best statistical season last season with the Mavs too. Even amongst all the injuries, he was injured, only played 57 games, but he debuted 14.7 points per game, a whole block a game, a whole steal a game, 2 assists, 8 rebounds, as well as shooting 38% from the 3-point line. And also important, a career 71% shooter from the free throw line. This is very important in our team. You don't try to add any guys who also struggle at the free throw line.
Please.
Those hacking situations. And what I love the most about him, he plays better in the playoffs. I loved how crucial he was in that series against OKC. He was unbelievable, averaging, giving you 13 points, 6 points, 6 rebounds, and shooting 35% from 3, but really high, I think 42% in the OKC series. So I'm a huge fan of his personality. He's a dog. He talks a lot of spat. Would love to have him in the rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the trade, but there's a little bit of Josh slander there. I think
My
I
bad.
think no, but I think just on this team, I think on previous teams he had better defensive players behind him, so he could freestyle a little bit, and it was kind of okay. You could cheat a lot, and it was okay. I think the team just wasn't good defensively, so now when he's cheating, it all falls apart.
And I think
That's true.
I think we have to acknowledge too that he's not a power forward.
No.
Like
Yeah.
he's been a power forward.
That was Tibbs' fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it
And
a
but
buck.
a lot of the defensive adjustments, the watch was Josh Hart this year, and I'm a huge Josh Hart fan.
Mhm.
And I can tell you his defense was left a lot to be desired. This
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
he was
Mhm.
getting beat
Yeah.
off the first step. He was getting
Yep.
beat backdoor. He was nowhere in vicinity to contest shots at times.
That's a fact.
So like he definitely regressed on the end. It's like he felt, oh, I got OG, I got Mikal, I ain't
Yeah.
got to do this no more.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
the one on the best player
Yeah.
anymore. And it looked like that.
All right. Let's,
All right,
let's
family. I
next.
got to bounce.
Okay.
All right, see you, Lee.
Which just I'll present Lee's last one. Do you want me to present Lee, your last one?
Sure, you can. I'm going to bounce out, and y'all can tear it apart without me.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Hint.
If he's
Hint,
bouncing on
no
his stick,
face
I'm
is
scared.
returning.
Yeah, he's gonna throw the bomb and he's gonna throw the bomb. And
It's all right. I got your number.
All right, I got
Yeah,
it.
you'll curse you out of the group chat, Lee. All right. All right.
Peace out, Lee.
Put me in a group
And
chat.
then there were 4.
And then there were 4.